The Bloomsburg Jamboree has lived up to its reputation once again, producing some of the most intense tough truck action so far in 2019. With the field set at 16, it's time for modified eliminations. Pat Winchester, Nick Anderson, and a full order of the world's fastest tough truckers are ready for battle. Monster Power coming at you from the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds, ready for the main event in the modified tough trucks. Pat Winchester leads the field coming into today's action. You can hear they're firing up the monster trucks behind us right now. Action's about to get underway, but standing by on the other side of the fairgrounds in the pits with the tough truck drivers is my colleague Tim Howard with Nick Anderson and Pat Winchester.
Hi guys, I'm here with Pat Winchester of the Mental Case, Nick Anderson of Central Ohio Tire. Two fastest qualifiers here in Bloomsburg. These guys get along great. Yesterday they ran together again and put down a blistering time. These guys get along really good. They like ribbing each other. We wanted to interview them together and give you guys an inside look at what really goes on behind the scenes. So Pat, you're sitting in first. What's going to happen today in the final round?
Well, my plan is I've got it figured out to the point where we get to the finals and I meet Nick again there, and then we have a repeat of Lima, and we'll see what happens, whether I come out on top for once or Nick comes out on top, and we have a true repeat in Lima at that point. But either way, it's going to be a show. I mean, the fans and the crowd was lucky enough to have basically 3 rounds of finals every round we went out this weekend, which is what it's all about. So I'm glad we could give that to everybody, and we had a good time doing it. Like we always talk about, iron sharpens iron, and you're not getting faster unless you're running the fastest guys out there. And I feel that this particular weekend we're the 2 fastest guys out there, and we're going to push each other and make each other feed off of that. And it's a good gauge as to where you're going to fall at that point. I mean, regardless of where you fall, if Nick edged me out on a qualifying round, I know I'm still pretty quick because I'm right there behind him, or vice versa. So it all works out for the positive for both of us. Yeah,
you coming in here with the points lead and smoke. I mean, you guys were flying yesterday, man. What a great run. My hairs were standing up on my arms watching you two run. Not losing the mental edge. When I raced, I would lose a mental edge like that. You guys are just staying calm and cool and just really driving them trucks. Now, you heard what Pat's got to say. Well, what do you got for Pat?
Well, like he said, we are the fastest 2 out here this weekend. We always do have a good time running together. If I go to here or his races or vice versa and whatnot. We just trying to have a repeat of Lima and hopefully put the Chevy power on top, so that forward. But
I like the way it sounds.
We'll see how that works out. We got to get through the tough field. I mean, the bracket's only separated by the top 10 trucks are only separated by what, second and a half?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough day today and get this thing to end and move on. So hopefully we come out number 1, keep leading the points again going into Indy, and just put on a good show for the crowd as well.
You guys are really good sportsmen, too. I know you guys are really strong competitors, but I also know when you're broke, Pat's over there helping you, vice versa. I mean, this family of racers here not only compete against each other and rib each other, but you're always there to help each other out, put each other back together to go out and maybe even lose to them. That's what we want to bring to you guys, to let you know that behind the scenes, this is what really goes on here with tough truck racing. We at Back Channel want to wish you guys the best today. Be safe out there, have fun, and is there anything else either one you want to say to the other one? I mean, feel free to call it right out.
No, it's all right. The history speaks for itself, and hopefully we can uphold that a little bit today, because we couldn't in Lima. So Nick's getting faster every year, and the truck's getting better, and he's getting better. So the best we can do is try and keep the truck on and stay out in the lead a little bit when we can. And it's getting tougher and tougher. I mean, he's got a great program, great people behind him, and that's all we can do. We can just do our part and hope that we brought enough to the gunfight. So.
All right, man. He had his opportunity there. Do you have anything you want to add to that? Maybe give him a little bit? I don't know. I'm not trying to stir the pot or nothing here.
Well, Patty himself has a very good operation, good team behind him. He's got Joe and he got all the computers and stuff. And it's just he's come a long way as well from when I first met him. I mean, the truck name used to speak for itself in some situations I've seen over the years. But it'll be a good day. It'll be a good time. No matter how the outcome comes out, if it just all depends on how it plays today. I don't know if lane choice is going to be a big factor today like it was at Lima or not. Me and him was talking about that earlier. He was going one lane, I was thinking the other, and I was talking to a couple other guys. They was thinking one and the same one, and it was just one of them things. You just didn't know which. It all depends on preference on which lane you like best in qualifying is about how it turns out to be. So, but yeah, Pat's got a good operation, so hopefully we do meet him in the final again like Lima and just put on a good show and
hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
All right, guys, I want to thank you again, and we'll come see you guys after the race on the podium, all right?
Okay, sounds
all right,
good.
man. Nick, all right, buddy, back to you. Thanks, guys. That was good.
Thank you, Tim. Going to take a look real quick at the points coming into the second final round of the season. Nick Anderson on top by 45 points to Pat Winchester, who's sitting 50 points above third. Travis Stevens, Al Varner, and John Yoder rounding out the top five. Any one of those guys could potentially take over the lead today with 200 points at the top. Up for grabs. Nick and Pat have been on the track together all weekend long. Will they meet in eliminations? Find out when we come back to Bloomsburg.
This Back Channel Productions program is presented in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show and ticket info, articles, event breakdowns, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com. This Back Channel Productions program is presented in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
Monster Power coming at you from the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania with the 2019 Tough Trucks Challenge second finals of the year, part of the Lucas Oil 4-Wheel Jamboree Series. A look at our pairings in the first round. Pat Winchester, top qualifier, he takes on Joe Bates Sr. It'll be John Yoder and Colin Dorsmer. Travis Stevens and Tony Martinez should be a pretty interesting matchup. And then Mike Leupold against Scott Roth. Of course, you can see how they seeded according to their qualifying times. Nick Anderson against Paul Hackle should be an interesting one, too. How will Anderson fare against one of the Foy toy machines? Joey Bates and Craig Crowdy. That'll be a high flyer against a guy who likes to keep it on the ground. Al Varner and Scott Martin. And then Jake Nichols against Thomas Faust, another one. Nichols with the high horsepower Bronco out of New York, taking on the little green Ford Ranger out of the state of Pennsylvania. Faust says he's a little underpowered, but he's got a real heavy right foot. First up, probably the most lopsided pairing you'll see all afternoon. Pat Winchester with that big Windsor horsepower, and he just put a gate job on Joe Bates. And that little Ford Ranger there, the Silver Bullet, got left at the starting line. Made it in to the number 16 spot out of qualifying, but he has had a lot of trouble getting that truck down the track this weekend. Winchester dominating this round in the meantime. Back through the tunnel, Winchester all on his own. As long as he doesn't make any major mistakes and clip the turn markers, he's home free. Pretty good time for Winchester. I don't think he topped his best qualifying run, but didn't need to. Times go out the window. He comes across the finish line at a 41.175, I believe the time was. We'll see here. Was indeed not as fast as time this weekend, but again, he didn't need it. Got himself out of that round without too much trouble. Here comes John Yoder in the under-pressure Jeep Cherokee Sport Bodied Mod against Colin Dorsmer. Powered advantage. Has to go to the yellow Ford, the no boundaries Ford here nearest the camera. John Yoder, one of the hardest running guys in this sport. Underpowered, but never underestimated. Pretty even start, slight advantage to Dorschmer over the first jump, but Yoder got it back. They're going to be side by side heading into the tunnel. Shaping up to be a real good finish here. The little Jeep making its way around. The Ford Ranger coming into the tunnel right in front of them. They are side by side on the way back. Yoder would appear to have the lead, but he had the inside corner. They'll even up right here. And Dorschmer just gave it away. A bobble there. The rear end slid out. John Yoder across the finish line. 42.6 second run. Not bad. Little Jeep out of Butler, Ohio, up next. Pair of Ford-bodied machines, one Ford engine, one Chevy engine. It's Tony Martinez and the Dodge and Bullets Ford Ranger taking on Travis Stevens with the Chevy small block underneath that 68 Ford body, one of the best-looking machines in the sport of tough truck racing. This guy's been flying this weekend, and he still hasn't been happy with his performance, so we'll see what he's got here in eliminations for Tony Martinez. Tony laying down probably the best run he's had all weekend long. He's looking good here in the Dodge and Bullets Ford. He's been paired up with Joey Bates and Purple Rage every qualifying pass this weekend. And Travis Stevens getting all he wants out of Tony Martinez. Look at this. The Ranger pushing the 68 all the way to the end. Way over on the nose for Travis Stevens. And a DQ for Martinez. I don't know where he got it, but it's a DQ at a 42 and change. Almost a 43-second run for Stevens. Watch this one again. They were right there together coming into that last jump, and all that horsepower underneath that 68 body went to work. Stevens may be making Tim Howard's case for the Chevy engine in these things, because he's running the Ford body, but he's got that big Chevy horsepower.
Your next two, Lucky 13 and Central Ohio.
Now, Mike Leupold, the Warhorse, a brand new machine for 2019. We know the name, we know the look, but he crashed the old Warhorse at the end of last year. Had to build a whole new truck. He's taking on the Flying Dutchman, Scott Roth, Lucky 13. Big Red Bronco looking real good right now. He's gone to a longer wheelbase than he had on the old truck, and it looks like it's working out for him. Just trying to work the bugs out of this machine right now, but he's laying down an awesome run. Roth staying with him, but he needs to go some. Can he take advantage of this inside turn coming onto the final stretch? A big leap for him right there. And he, I believe, bumped the tire. I'm not sure. Mike Leupold with a nice charge across the finish line. Scott Roth will not catch up with him. A 42 and change for Mike Leupold. We're not done yet, though. The second half of our first round bracket coming up. Stay with us here in Bloomsburg. Welcome back to the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. The 2019 Tough Trucks Challenge continuing eliminations today. the finals after 3 sessions of qualifying this weekend. Going to look back at some runs from earlier in our first round. Nick Anderson taking on Paul Hackle. Hackle in the Swamp Donkey. Nick Anderson, your points leader in the Central Ohio Tires Chevrolet. He has been looking awesome all weekend long. Ran second in qualifying, and he keeps on improving. And watch the numbers on the end of this run. Actually slowed down a bit coming over the last jump, still ran the new fast time in a 40.460 run. Joey Bates and Craig Brown said this was going to be an interesting run. You're looking at two very different driving styles right here. Joey Bates loves to fly that purple Dodge. Craig Prouty likes to keep that beautiful 41 Willis on the ground. Watch the top end charge for both of these guys. Prouty has the race won. 42.108 for Craig Prouty. Not a bad run at all. One more for you, Al Varner. Came into this event sitting 4th in points, taking on Scott Martin, who was not as much of a contender as we thought he was going to be. Not taking anything away from him, but it seems like he started to have problems with this dry dirt as this afternoon has gone on. He ran some good qualifying runs. He's been on the throttle hard all this weekend. Still working some bugs out of the big blue Ford from the state of New York. Martin, one of the big veterans in this sport, but he hit the tire center track. Al Varner goes on to a 41.280 out of round number 1. Have one more pair coming up in just a moment, but before we do, there's a huge contingent of Ohio drivers in the sport of tough trucks racing, and earlier today, Tim Howard had a chance to talk with 3 of the best out of the Buckeye State about their plans coming into race number 2.
All right, guys, I'm here with John Yoder, Under Pressure, Travis Stevens, One Last Shot, Al Varner, and the Bounty Hunter. These guys are from Ohio. They're down here in Bloomsburg. Putting on one heck of a show, guys, by the way. Really nice runs, really nice times going down. I know things ain't quite where you guys want to be sitting in the qualifying, which is no big deal because the brackets are set. You guys are coming out today, 3 o'clock, I believe. How you feeling, Travis? How you think things are going to turn out today?
Well, hopefully everything goes okay. You know, we come out here, we got kind of a curveball thrown at us with the track. It was something I don't think any of us were expecting. They made some changes to it. You know, I think we've all qualified well. We've been getting faster all weekend long, so feeling pretty good about this afternoon.
Okay, good. John, you're out there doing pretty good. I know you're about a second or so slower than I thought you'd be, personally, because I've seen you run a lot. Any changes been done? Anything you want to...
Like Travis said, they made some adjustments to the track that helped everybody. Had a penalty first round. That was on me. A little bit of driver error, but I've been getting faster. So not quite qualified where I want to be, like you said. I'd like to be another second or so faster, but I'm a little under horsepowered out here. But I give it all I got. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
I've seen you driving before. You've always dealt with a little bit of horsepower issue. So I'm sure today that you're going to make up for that.
We've always been a little under horsepowered, run Ford motor, so
sorry.
Yeah. But it works well. It puts power to the ground, and it moves. So I just gotta wake up a little bit behind the wheel and
go for
do my thing.
Yeah, the corners seem to be the big thing for you. Al, you came out there early Friday, I think it was, put down some really good times. You just out there playing with the track, kind of getting a little seat time in there, waiting for the finals?
We had some carburetor problems Friday, worked on it Friday night, got some bugs out of it, it's running a lot better now. We had good passes yesterday in both lanes, so I think we're ready for today.
Okay.
Hopefully we have something for Nick and Pat and Travis, and hopefully we can take it back to Ohio.
All right. I know we probably shouldn't talk about the elephant in the room. John, I know you. I've seen you in the past. When you want something, you usually go for it. I know that finish line jump's a little bit sketchy, but there is some time being made up there. I mean, there's a good way to take Nick and Pat out, maybe, because they don't like to jump. They like to keep it on the ground, you know.
Yeah. There's definitely a little history. 3 years ago, I thought I was going to beat old Travis there by Sky in the last jump. It ended pretty bad. It ended the truck. Luckily, I was unharmed. I was safe. Regroup and come back the next year, and that's when I built the Jeep mod that I have now. So I'd like to say I learned my lesson on trying to get it on the final jump, but I see guys out there doing it. So if it comes down to it, if I think I got it, I'll shoot for it.
Okay.
So we'll don't let me be close.
That was a bad wreck, and thank God you're okay. Does go to show what great cages you guys build and the time you guys put into all the safety that you can take that kind of a wreck and walk away unscathed. Yeah, it takes out the truck, but the bottom line is metal you can straighten out, bodies you can't. All right, Al, you know he's over there, man. What do you got for him?
I just want everybody to be safe, and we'll see exactly how it works out at the end of the day.
That's the kind of sportsmen we got here. They had the opportunity to slam the other competitors, and they don't. That's how it is with the Ohio guys, the New York guys, and the Pennsylvania guys. Guys, I wish you all the best of luck, man. Safe out there, have fun, be good, and put on the show that you're supposed to, all right?
Thank you.
All right, Nick, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Tim. No one's taking your bait this weekend. All right, final pairing around number 1. Jake Nichols with Godfather in Foy Toy taking on one of the toughest out of the Keystone State. That is Thomas Faust and Mad Money. Real good first leg for both of these guys right now. Not over driving it, not over jumping it. These may not be the two fastest times, but very consistent pair of runs right now. It may come down to a dash for the finish line between these two. The horsepower advantage has to go to the white Bronco. What does Thomas Faust have for the Godfather? He's got a little lead coming into the tunnel. Thomas Faust giving Jake Nichols a run. Nichols falling back. Bronco trying to chase down the Ranger. I don't think it's going to happen. Look how Thomas Faust almost ended the Green Ranger. He'll get the win of the 42.090. But that almost ended in disaster. We just talked about John Yoder overdriving those finish line jumps. Look at this. So close to putting that thing on its top. The ambulance headed over toward the Faust Racing pit area real quick. I doubt very seriously that Thomas is hurt, but just checking on him, he has come out of the vehicle. The rear suspension may have sustained some damage. We'll have to wait and see if he can get back into this thing. It was really a multifaceted incident right there, as if the hit to the nose wasn't bad enough. Slams the rear end on the ground. That may have put a hurting on the Green Machine out of Pennsylvania. Back at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, the 2019 Tough Trucks Challenge continues. Quarterfinal round action on the line. Pat Winchester against John Yoder, the mental case, taking on Under Pressure. And a slight lead to the New York Ford coming out of the first leg, headed toward the tunnel. Look at the cloud of dust he kicked up over there on the backstretch. I have no idea how he sees where he's going, but that Ford just scoots around the track. Got him a lead going right now, and he just threw a ton of gravel through the driver's side window of the Ohio Jeep at Winchester. Nice charge across the finish line. He'll pick up another victory, and it is a 40.754 second run. That was his fast qualifying time. So he's matched himself. Can he go faster? He said they would get out of the 40s before the weekend was over. I know Pat Winchester plans to do just that. He's going to have to, because the pairings get faster as we go on now. Mike Leupold and the Warhorse taking on Travis Stevens. One last shot. Chevrolet-powered Ford body machine out of Cambridge, Ohio. Mike Loopold in the Warhorse out of New York. Loopold really flying the grandstand lane. They head out onto the infield and into the tunnel. Loopold giving Stevens quite a run. This brand new machine may finally be coming around. He had a lot of trouble in Ohio. Does not look like he's having those problems here. Mike Loopold with the lead coming back into the tunnel. Travis Stevens is really going to have to push to try to catch up. Little bobble there for Stevens. Charging across the end, both of them nose down. Stevens way out of shape coming across the finish line. Mike Loopold. Look at the flight in the lane furthest to camera. He went way over on the nose. Now a pair of Buckeye bow ties. Nick Anderson, your points leader in the Central Ohio Tire Chevrolet. Second in qualifying coming into this second final round of the year. He takes on Craig Prouty. 41 Rocket. Craig falling back a little bit here in the first leg. Over on the nose, it's a little more air than I'm used to seeing underneath the 41 Rocket. One of the first tough trucks I've ever seen jump over a school bus, though. Nick Anderson with a real comfortable lead right now. Big problems for Craig Prouty in the 41 Rocket. Nick Anderson is all by himself. In fact, it looks like Prouty stalled the 41 Rocket back there on the backstretch. Nick Anderson, if he can keep it straight, will get a victory. It should still be a pretty good time for the red Chevrolet. We'll see what the margin of victory ends up being. It's going to be a pretty wide margin. Craig Prouty not at all the run he was looking for in the 41 Rocket.
40.047.
40.047 on a less than perfect run. He just laid down a new fast time. I'm telling you, Pat's got to be a prophet right now. I do believe we're going to see times down in the 39s before this day is over. Now, Al Varner, another one of those Buckeye bow ties, taking on a little green Ford. Went for the wild ride in round number one. It's good to see him back out on the track, but I do believe there is some damage to this truck. We'll have to see how it handles his quarterfinal round matchup. Thomas Fauci, Mad Money out of Pennsylvania. Does appear to have some damage there on the front end. I don't believe that he's getting quite the performance out of it he did in the first round. He had a good run to take down the Godfather. Now trying to knock out Al Varner here. I just don't think it's going to work for him. He's still laying down a good run, but the truck really does not seem like it's handling correctly. Right now, I believe he's bent or broken a sway bar in the front end. Bounty Hunter charging down to the end. Round two victory there for him. Thomas Faust fought his way through it, but it's just not going to be enough. 41.840, so Varner getting faster. Plenty more to go. The semifinal round coming up next when we come back to Bloomsburg. The Final Four on the line as the 2019 Tough Trucks Challenge heads into semifinal round action here at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. Pat Winchester in the mental case taking on Mike Loopold in the Warhorse pair at New York 4. Nosedive for Loopold. Both of these guys trying to work bugs out of both of these trucks after coming back from major crashes in 2018. A brand new truck in the red Bronco and a rebuilt truck in the black Ford Raptor. And Pat Winchester's making some smooth moves on this backstretch area. Look how dusty it is back there. The visibility just gets notoriously worse and worse as the race day goes on. Pat Winchester, though, fighting through it, hopefully with no DQs. He is laying down an awesome run right now. Loopold still pushing him, though. All the way to the end. Look at Loopold nose dive trying to catch him, and look at the time. 39.815. Pat said he was going to lay down a sub 40-second run before the day was over, and he was not lying. And look at this leap across the finish line for Loopold, trying to get to the transponder first. Remember, the white line there in the foreground is not the finish line. There's a black cone just to the left of the jump you can actually see there. Maybe in the reverse angle, yeah, right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen that marks the transponder cables. The electronic timing very precise in the Tough Trucks Challenge as our second pairing in the semifinals goes at it. Pair of Ohio Chevrolets. Your points leader, Nick Anderson, trying to hold off Al Varner. Can Varner knock out Nick Anderson before the day is over? This could be the most important race of the year right here. Very even as they come back toward the tunnel, side by side. Anderson, though, with a tremendous impact to that concrete K-rail. Al Varner all by himself on the front stretch. And that could have been the championship right there for Nick Anderson. And look at the damage to the front end of that machine. You can see the differential actually sitting on the ground. Al Varner with a good run, by the way, at a 40.030 second run. And it's hard to tell from here, but boy, that says it all, doesn't it? Nick Anderson. Did he throw away the championship? That's the question. And I do believe, again, it's really hard to tell from here, but it does look like he's completely split the front housing in half. Question now, though, is there chassis damage he's going to have to deal with? This is just a cursory examination over here in the tunnel, but he hit that K-rail hard. Now just trying to regroup. Try to stay in the program for 2019. Got to be heartbroken right now as the forklift makes its way over there. Fortunately, he is okay because, again, that was a huge impact. Watch it again. It actually blows the left front rim completely apart. There you see the outer half of the rim, and he skidded across the top of it as it fell over. Really caught it with the left front. I thought he hit it more in the center, but he caught it mostly with the left front. Here's a look at how the final pairing stacks up. Mental case, 39.815. By the way, the losing effort, Warhorse, you see there, 40 seconds flat. There's the Bounty Hunter at a 40.030 second run. Very, very quick pair coming in to this final run race. It's still going to be awesome. I really wish we could have seen Pat Winchester and Nick Anderson go at it, but do not think this is not an important run right here. Al Varner could potentially take over the points with this one right here. Pat Winchester stands the greatest chance to make something of this final round pairing, but it could go the way of the Buckeyes. Chevrolet, the AJ's transmission, Bounty Hunter pulling up to the starting line. This will be the final race after a grueling weekend here in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. This track more than lived up to its hype here in 2019. Al Varner in the near lane, Pat Winchester back in the lane that netted him his fast times in qualifying. You have to wonder if that's a mistake, though. Making a hard run, both of them getting a little out of shape right there. Winchester staying with it. It's actually kept them pretty even. Al Varner, can he upset your second in points, your fast qualifier? Big dust cloud over there. It took Winchester a moment to get back. Varner staying to the right side of that jump, not wanting to make the same mistake that Nick Anderson did. Nosedive there. Who will make it down the front stretch first? Varner has a problem, comes to a stop, and Pat Winchester will take the victory here in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. What was the time? And where is Al Varner? A DNF, a 39.959. Another sub 40-second run for Pat Winchester. And there you see it, a tire has come off of the Bounty Hunter Chevrolet. That was unexpected. Couldn't tell if he had suspension damage or what he had done to the truck. There was just listing real hard to the left. That's why. It's been a rough weekend for the Ohio contingent, man. Well, we got that interview in earlier. I don't think they'd want to talk to us right now. Al Varner taking inventory of that truck right now. There's a look at the points. Coming out of Bloomsburg, 550. Pat Winchester takes the points lead, but just barely. That's not as big a margin as it may look on screen right now. Nick Anderson could come back from that. Al Varner, Travis Stevens, and John Yoder rounding out the top 5. Coming out of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Al Varner taking a last look at the old Bounty Hunter before they haul it off the track. What a show these guys have put on this weekend against some of the best racing on the planet. If you get a chance to see it, come check it out. It's time to wrap this up for yours truly. We're going to send it over to Tim Howard.
All righty, guys. We're here with Pat Winchester, driver of the mental case. Pat, you knocked off the win today, man. Wow, you guys were smoking in the final rounds.
Yeah, it was definitely a dogfight all the way through, whether it was the semifinals with me and Mikey Leupold. He's one of my guys, and we've been trying to work out some of the bugs. It's a brand new truck, and man, he was just out blistering it today. We got lucky in a couple spots. I screwed up a couple turns, and we were able to use a heavy right foot to bring us back into the game a little bit, and we got fortunate there. And then the race with Al Varner, that was going to be a super tight one as well, but he unfortunately had some breakage there in the final turn, which I had no idea about until we were said and done. I saw him getting pulled off the track, but we had our issues too. We rounded the last turn, and luckily for me, we actually had the power steering pump kick both belts off of it, so we came around the turn and the truck was lined up for the straightaway across the finish of the last 2 jumps, excuse me. And we just went for it, and truck was getting hot. We were beating on it pretty good, and it hit the ground a little heavier on the nose than I wanted to, and it actually died right there. It just shut down. So it fired right back up and we drove away, but we had no power steering the last straightaway, and thankfully it was the last round, so we didn't have to scramble in with a hot motor to get it back together for another round. But we were fortunate. I mean, we were thankful we had all the components and all the planets aligned for us to lay down some good times this weekend and make things happen. So
You called it the other day saying you guys were going to break that 50-second mark, and you guys did, man. Or I'm sorry, 40-second mark. I rephrased that. Break that 40-second mark, and that's pretty impressive on a track that was a 45-second track, 47-second track up on Friday.
Yeah, and I mean, I got to give props to the track crew, because the nice thing is they were open to insight, and we did modify the track from what its original form was to make it a little more driver friendly, a little more even, and a lot safer, because in true fashion here at Bloomsburg, it turns into a dusty mess. Yeah. Especially when you can't water between rounds, or else you're going to turn it into a slop hole. Heck, the round that I had with Mikey Leupold, I didn't even see the Yodoc coming into the turn. When we made the turn with the tire loop around, I lost the tire about a third of the way into that turn, and we were just hoping we weren't going to run into it and roll over. We didn't see the yellow Yodoc coming around until it was blowing by our passenger side door. So
wow,
it gets dusty, and it would have been a recipe for disaster running side by side. So the track crew really, we all came together, and we worked together and put our heads together and laid it all out. So it was a really driver-friendly track. And I honestly can't say that there was one lane that was faster than the other. It was a matter of comfort level. I mean, I felt more comfortable in the right lane, but then again, we just went out and laid down the fastest pass of the weekend in the left lane against Mike Leupold. So I liked that right lane, but we had to go to work in the left lane too. So not one was that much outstanding over the other like it was in Lima. So I'm pretty excited that that's a quality of track we had to work with this weekend, and the quality of people that we got to work with. So
it was a great show. Oh my gosh, everybody was amazing this weekend again. Biggest thing is congratulations, man. Looking forward to seeing you on into Indy and see what transpires out there, man. I know you got a little bit of a points lead, but I know in racing that can change in a matter of seconds out there on the track and other drivers. So
well, and I don't think we're going to have as much of a points lead as we thought, because Nick qualified better than us in Lima, and he won. So technically he got a round up on me in Lima. I qualified only one spot better than him here, but I got another round on him here. So I think if he's not still ahead of me by a little bit, it's going to be super, super close going to Indy. So I think we're gonna have some of the closest points racing we've ever seen in the history of the sport coming into Indy. So, and we've got racers that are right behind us too are. I mean, it could be anybody's game. If anything happens to me or Nick, and we, God forbid, don't make it past first round in Indy, I mean, it's just going to throw a hand grenade right into the points, and you're going to see all kinds of goofy stuff happening. So I think it'll be interesting. Everybody's going to have their A game for Indy. I know that. So
wow. Well, you heard it. Right now, points still are up for grabs. Could be anyone's game, as we've seen today. A lot of the guys went a lot further than normal. Different guys took the lead, and it was quite an interesting weekend. Indy's going to be a very interesting battle.
Absolutely, and thanks, guys, from Back Channel Productions. We're glad that you guys are able to come out and document some of the stuff that's going on with the tough truck racing, and kind of put the spotlight where some of it gets deserved to go.
Needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got to race for our paycheck, so that's what matters.
All right, guys, you heard it. We'll see you next time. Indianapolis, Indiana, Jamboree.